Hey guys, what is happening? So, today, thankfully, it's the last of chapter 13, the Law of Cosines, okay? Um, so, you've been using the Law of Sines for the past few days. Now, we're going to come across different pieces of information for our triangles that you'll need to solve, and you won't be able to use the Law of Sines anymore, okay? And I think you'll know right away that you can't use them, okay? Basically, you're going to use the law of sines when you have an angle and a side across from it, right? Okay, so as long as you have an angle and a side across from it, you're good to go to use the law of sines. But in this case, we're not going to have an angle and a side across from the angle. Okay, so it's important that you guys know this. Okay, so here is one of the three formulas that you can use. Okay, so go ahead and copy this one down. See if you can't come up with the other two. There are two different ones. Okay. All right. If you need more time, pause it. I'm going to go ahead and write down the other two, but hopefully you already have these. Okay, so this one says A, and then B, and then C, and then all this madness. Watch this. I'll just rearrange the letters. So now let's do B squared. What would B squared equal? Okay, so I'm going to say that it equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b, okay? And then c squared equals, well, just do the other letters, a squared plus b squared minus 2 times ab cosine c. Okay, so there's the law of cosines, and let's dig in. Here we go. Part A, we have the SAS case, okay? And again, you don't really need to memorize this, okay? The main thing is when you have only one angle, okay, you've got your work cut out for you, okay? But in this case, let me just show you the example, okay? We have that side A is equal to 11. We have angle B is equal to 34 degrees. And we have side C is equal to 14. So now watch. If you draw the picture, okay, remember how I like to draw the picture? Again, when I'm only given one angle, I draw a picture, okay? If I'm given two angles, I still draw a picture, but I'm not sweating as much, okay? But one angle, I'm gonna always try to put that one angle down in the bottom left corner, okay? So this is 34, and then to the best of my ability, I'm just gonna try to draw a 34-degree angle. It's probably something just like that. That's pretty close to a 34-degree angle, okay? So this is my angle B. All right, and then normally my side B is across from it over here, right? Here's my side B, but they didn't give me a side B. They gave me an A and a C. So B should be over here. So if this is 11, my A, it goes here. Or I could put it down here, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then here's my C, which is 14. The main thing is I don't have a side across from my angle. You notice that? So we can't use, excuse me, we cannot use the law of sines. So we're going to go ahead and use the law of cosines, okay? So let's get to it. Here we go. Let's solve for side B, okay? So if I'm going to solve for side B, I'm going to use this guy right here, okay? I'm going to use this one. I'm solving for side B, so let's get to it. So B squared, okay? B squared equals A squared, that's 11. What is that, 121, okay? All right, plus C squared. C is 14. What is that, 196? I think, I hope so, 196. Minus 2 times A times C, so 2 times 11 times 14, okay? All right, times the cosine of B. So the cosine of B, that's cosine of 34. Okay, and so this is pretty straightforward here. Here, I'll do it a little by little. I don't think you really need to stress too much here. Let me go ahead and clear all this. One thing I'm going to do is check to make sure I'm in degrees. So check my mode. I'm in degrees. Cool. Let me back out of there. All right, so I have 121, okay, plus 196, okay, minus... can you see that there? Okay, cool. Excuse me. Now I'm going to put this whole thing in parentheses just because I'm afraid that I'll mess something up. So minus parentheses 2 times 11 times 14 times the cosine of 34 Close the parentheses. Now I'm going to close the entire parentheses. And that equals 61.656. So 61.656. So B is going to equal the square root of that, which is like 7.8. I don't know. Okay, so I'll take the square root of 61.656. There it is, 7.8. 7.85. So let's just say B is 7.85. Okay. All right, so that wasn't too bad. Okay. But that's only B. Okay, now I have 7.85. That's my B. So 7.85. And now I just need, this was side A, so this is angle A, and then this is angle C. So now I just need to find angle A. Well, now I have an angle and a side across from it, so guess what? I can use the law of sines now. Okay, so here we go. Let's set this up. I'm looking for angle A, right? So I know then that the sine of A over the side across from it, 11, is going to equal the sine of B, so the sine of 34 over the side across from that, 7.85. Okay, so 7.85. All right. So now I want, let me clear all this off so it's not distracting. I want the sine of A by itself, so I'm going to take the sine of 34, right, multiply it by 11. So 11 times the sine of 34 equals 6.15, and I'm going to divide it by 7.85 equals, and I get that the sine of A is equal to 0.784. So the sine of A is equal to 0.784. Okay, and now I just need to take the inverse sine of that, right, to find my angle A. Oops, am I off the screen there? Sorry about that. Okay, so now A is equal to the inverse sine of 0.784. Okay, so let me take the inverse sine of that. So inverse sine of 0.7835824, that should be good enough. And I get 51.6. Okay, so A equals 51.589. I'm just going to say 51.6, okay? All right, so there's my angle A. 51.6, and now all I need to do to get my angle C is just subtract all that from 180. So 180 minus 51.6 minus 34 equals 94.4 is my angle C. So 94.4. There we go. Now I've solved my triangle. And again, when you're turning your work in your homework, it's nice if you list everything clearly off to the side, okay? Or not, whatever. However you want to do it. Okay. All right, so that's the SAS case. Again, it's when you're given one angle, okay, but you're not given an angle across from a side. Okay, that's when you have to use the law of cosines. Now, the last case that we're going to come across is part B, and it's the only thing we haven't seen yet, which is SSS. Okay, no angles whatsoever. Okay. So we get all sides. Okay, so here we go. Let me give you an example. Here's what you need to know. Whenever you're dealing with SSS, you need to use the biggest, side first. Okay? That'll make more sense in a second. Okay? All right, so here we go. I have my example ready to go. I know that side A is 12, side B is 27, and side C is 20. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is use the biggest side first. So that's this guy right here, and that should be across from the biggest angle, okay? And hopefully we don't run into any problems. There's only so much I could do in just a few minutes with you guys, okay? But I'm just going to show you the gist of it. And this is really what you need to do when you're given all sides. You're going to start off with the biggest side. So I'm just going to write this down so we have it. That's the b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine of b. Okay, that's the one I'm going to use. Just happens to be the one I used here. Okay, it's just a coincidence. I'm not trying to favor this one. It just turned out that way. Okay? All right, so here we go. Let's plug in everything we can, okay? So that's 27 squared equals 12 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 12 times 20 times the cosine of b. And we don't know that, so that's what we have to solve everything for, okay? All right, so I'm going to move those guys over. So let me just do 27 squared. I'll just clear that. 27 squared is, so that's 729. So 729 equal, I'm sorry. Here, yeah, I'll go ahead and this will be easier. Equals 144, okay, plus 400, okay, minus, now this is 2 times 12 times 20. So what is that, 480? So minus 480 cosine b. Now I'm just going to double check because I don't want to mess anything up here. So 2 times 12 times 20, 480. Okay, good. All right, so now here we go. I got most of the hard work done. Subtract the 144, subtract the 400. Okay, so 729 minus the 144 and minus the 400, okay, equals, that's 185. Okay, so 185 equals negative 480 cosine b. Okay, all right, get that cosine b by itself. So now divide by, so 185 divided by negative 480. Okay, so divided by negative 480. That equals negative 0.385. So negative 0.385 equals my cosine of b. Okay. All right. And now I want to solve for b. So b equals, all right, the inverse cosine of negative 0.385. All right. And so let's take the inverse cosine of that. So inverse cosine of negative 0.385. Okay, enter. And we get 112.6. So there's that really big angle. Okay, and we knew it was going to be big. So here we go, 112.6. So angle B is 112.6. Okay. All right, so I should have drawn a triangle really quick. Let's just do this really quick. I'll just go ahead and draw my triangle. I'm going to put angle B up here, okay? This is 112.6. Okay, there's my angle B. Across from side B, 27, okay? And then I could just call this angle A. I could call this angle C, no problem. And the side across, actually, let me switch it to make it look more realistic because side C is bigger, okay? So side C is 20, okay, so this will make my angle C. And then side A is 12, okay, so this will make my angle A. All right, and now look, guys, look, we have an angle across from a side. What can I do now? That's right, I can use the law of sines, okay? All right, there's one more thing I want to show you. Let me just pause this now and I'll start a new video, okay? Hang on.